This week, we discovered there might just be something to this whole conspiracy that fireflies are actually alien lasers coming to get you. We find a rental transportation system even worse than those damn scooters. And if you believe we have the newest way to heat up your love life, then some Russians just might have a bridge to sell you.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Robot lady, sound the alarm!
Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
I don't feel like I have the right to make fun of somebody who actually loses at Jeopardy, since I would always lose at Jeopardy. However, that is what is in the news right now. Ladies and gentlemen, in the form of a question, what are two ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised, self-deprecating morons ranting about opinions that they have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter? The answer was us. Our goal here at Another Wasted Hour is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C., is not just a city of politics and scandals, but one brimming with art, music, and culture, and answers in the forms of questions. As impossible as that may seem. So listeners, now that you know why you're here, live in studio, we have the big bad Dan Wolf.
Hey, fellas.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
It's been a little while since we've had you.
It's been a little while.
And now you're back. How do you spell Wolf? That's with
It was with two F's.
So an F and an E at the
and
end.
No E. Yeah,
No.
right there. Two F's, no E. You got it.
Two F's, threes.
It's funny how people find extra letters to add on it once you say it's not just spelled like the animal.
Right. You would think so my last name is Center.
Right.
And people
they
will,
put 4 R's.
They will call and they'll say like, "Oh, do you want something?" And whatever the telemarketing is, and I'm like, "Sure, yeah, sell me everything." And they'll be like, "How do you spell your last name?" I'm like, "Never mind. I do not want to do business with you. I'm concerned." I'm like, I don't know how to say it and not sound like a jerk, right? Like they're like, "How do you spell it?" And I'm like, "Center." It's yeah, but how do you spell it? Like, give it a shot.
You should say like the J is silent.
Right.
And just let them try to figure that one out.
Yeah. Or just like the J is invisible.
Yeah.
Right. It's the opposite of silent. It's you pronounce it, but it's not in there.
Sure.
It's also silent.
You think you got it bad? Try having the last name Scalisi.
Whoa. Who has that?
Me.
What?
How many? You know
I
how
didn't
many
know that we
times
gave
in the
him a
last
last
week
name.
alone I've been referred to on emails as Adam Scalia?
Your
Oh.
last name is not Scalia.
I know it's not, but
What?
it's close enough.
Oh my goodness. That does explain why you do professional sound engineering rather than being a judge.
This is true.
I was wondering. I felt like you had a strong judicial career ahead of you, but that is not the case.
That's not
No,
true
'cause your
for
last name's
many
too
reasons,
long.
Keith.
What's that, Adam?
I said that's not true for many reasons.
Yes, that right. Because you would just make terrible judgments. That's what it'd be like. This man stole $100,000 from me. I'm suing him for $100,000. I don't know. How would you guys have a barbecue together? You can't do that legally. Legally, they must have a barbecue together.
I would just make whatever judgments are funniest.
Right. So it'd be like, you have to pay him back and wear giant shoes.
I like that he's aware that he's a bad judge, though.
Yeah.
Because that, like, he's able to judge that appropriately. And I feel like that gives him a little more points than I would have otherwise.
We should have that. We should have bad people's
You're like,
court.
I know that I'm not good at this, but I'm trying real hard.
We just bad people's court. You go on TV and the judge is like, "I'm sorry, I missed all of that. Can you do that again?"
Do over. Mulligan.
Right.
So
Mulligan.
but the thing is, it sounds like that's just like 2 drinks past Nancy Grace or whatever her name is.
Yeah. So this is going to be killer. We've got an idea. So Dan Wolf, are you going to be the judge on this? Because we know Adam can't do it.
Yes, I guess I can be the judge on this.
Perfect.
I will do it.
We've cast the entire thing. I get to be bailiff, and you're going to be one of the lawyers, I guess, Adam. I'm not sure.
That or the what's it called? The stenographer or whatever. The person just typing furiously.
Sure. You're going to say snotnographer? Was that?
Well, I mean, it is bad court, so sure, why not?
Here's what I'm thinking, though. If I'm like, bailiff, you need to remove this man.
Yeah.
First thing you do is you rip off your shirt.
Right.
And then you go to them like you do the hockey fight where you pull the back of their shirt over their head.
Right.
And you cheap shot them a couple times before you take them out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Why wouldn't I?
I mean, that's the bit. That's what we...
I feel like it. And instead of handcuffs, we put nipple clamps on them and we lead them out.
Like, yeah, how do you like this? Yeah.
You're coming with me.
Yeah, I think.
Or at the very least, your nipples are. If they're still attached to you by the time we get there, that's entirely up to you.
Right. Cruel and unusual.
I think people would watch a whole episode of this.
Yeah, probably at least half. Yeah, so you have a brand new album coming out.
Yeah.
As people are listening to this, it will probably already be out because it comes out Tuesday, June 11th. It's called Folkin' Around, which has puns in it, which I love.
It does.
Double entendres.
Sure, yeah.
I love all the entendres.
But how many are there?
Well, there's single entendres.
Sure.
Those aren't as good.
No.
You're like
pretty direct.
That's where you're like, hey, do you want this pen? And then you have a pen. And they're like, yeah, I would like a pen.
Do you just give it?
You
just hand it? Oh, you just hand
and
it
then
over.
you hand it to them.
Yeah, no, that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's a single entendre. Myself, I like to think of myself as kind of more of a matchmaker for single entendres.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when they get together, then it's a double.
Right, if you know what I mean.
Sure, yeah.
See, look, I just did
this song actually might be like a triple entendre then, because I feel like...
What is a triple
entendre? See, I was about to explain.
Yeah, no, tell us.
I think it's a thing where it's quite clear that it's a double entendre, but I think if you read it a little bit different, if you're rather deeper, it's maybe not an entendre at all.
So it goes back to the single
it's actually, it's like a mod 2 situation.
So it's like an incidental double entendre where you're like, here, would you like to touch
it's like
my pen?
I want you to think it's a double entendre, but it doesn't have to be. There's still something there, even if you. In fact, that's what the second verse is about. So maybe
that's the second entendre.
That's the second one. Yeah.
So we have the title track from that EP, Folkin' Around. We're going to play that at the end of the show here in its entirety. Well, a little clip a little later on. It's going to be available just everywhere, right? Anywhere you can download music, stream music, all that
Download,
stuff.
stream. I'm trying to get it on Spotify playlists. You just told me that iTunes is going away.
Yeah.
I don't know how quickly that's happening. I'm obviously not reading the news.
And it's true. So iTunes is not going to be a thing anymore. They're just going to go with the Apple Music.
Starting when?
It's pretty soon, I think. I don't know.
Like when I go home, it's uninstalled from my computer already.
They've reached in and
they just took it. Like we're taking that back, sir.
Not for you anymore.
Yeah.
No.
And all the tracks you bought on iTunes are no longer valid. You have to rebuy them through Apple Music.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be tracks. Isn't Apple Music a subscription thing?
Oh,
I thought it was.
The subscription thing. So see, what actually terrifies me about this, because as an audio engineer, I've got, however many bands' music saved on my computer, including yours, Keith.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it still does, but I remember when they first rolled out Apple Music, they had this thing where if you had any music on your computer that wasn't on the library, it would upload it to the cloud, but then delete the original copies because now you had the MP3s. But the problem is if I'm trying to mix someone's music and now all of a sudden, the latest Dreamscapes project album is just gone, but I can still download the MP3s of it instead of the full waves. That's why I'm staying the hell away from Apple Music.
Oh, no.
Again, I don't know if they still do it, but I know it happened a lot.
I have heard rumor that if you want to buy tracks individually now, you can just go to danwolfmusic.com, and that's a place to get all your iTunes music there.
I'll send you a low-res MP3 in a zip file. Actually, it was really funny. When I was looking to release this, I happened to come across a stash of those old floppy drives, the old hard floppy drives.
Hard floppy drives?
Yeah, the hard floppy drives.
Yeah.
And or discs. What am I saying? Drives. The discs themselves. Anyway, and I was thinking, like, how awesome would it be to burn like a 96K version of your song on that? But I mean,
just watch children stare at you.
I mean,
they would be like, "What the fuck am I doing with this?"
And just like sell it as like a commemorative thing. But I can't. I'm hoping just to get 10 people to buy like the real thing. I don't need to sell a single track on a floppy drive or floppy disk. But then I thought maybe like the first half of the song would be on one, and when you got halfway through, you'd have to put the other one in to play. Like if you want to hear the end, put in disc 2 of 3.
You know what you could also do? Just sell 2 floppy disks with nothing on them.
Because nobody knows it'll get played just as much.
Yeah, you'll be like, no, it's on there. It's great. You start the first half, you have to switch to the other, and they'll be like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And it will not get
You're
paid.
right. All I have to do is print out a sticker for it.
Yeah.
I feel that way about CDs now too, though. Every once in a while, you'd be like, "Hey," like somebody comes up and talks to you after your show, and you're like, "Oh, take a CD," and they're like, "Nah."
Right.
I'm like, sorry, would you like a coaster for your house? It's got my face on it.
Here, throw this out for me.
Yeah. It's like a Frisbee for your dog. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's all subscriptions now, which is super strange. But also, we forgot to mention Saturday, June 15th, you're going to be at Willie's Brew and Q.
Yes.
Where's that at?
That's in Southeast DC. I would tell you the street if I had it memorized.
That's all right. We don't need to memorize
But you can Google it. And I think Q is QUE, like barbecue.
Barbecue, not
brew and Q.
CUE, like if you're playing pool or
Right.
something. Okay, so that's good. That's important. Willie may do both, but right now we're focused on the barbecue.
We're focused on the brews and the QUEs.
The QUEs.
Q.
I hope he pronounces it like that. Like you walk in, you're like, hey, we're just checking in for the show. Is Willie here? And he's like, yeah, welcome to my brew and QUE.
Like Quez. it's pronounced Quez.
Welcome to Willie's brew and quinoa.
You're like, I did not see this coming.
No, wow. That was very strange. So they can see you live there. You'll be playing Folkin' Around, I assume?
Yes, we do play that. We'll play a couple tracks off of that album and obviously stuff off like the old Dan Wolf album, which I think I talked about the last time I was here.
I think you were a single artist the last time.
Yeah, well, I do play with the band.
And now you've got a band.
When we are working on a band album, but yeah, it's kind of always a sort of a separation of projects. I think if you're like a singer and a songwriter, you have all these things that maybe don't fit like the vibe your band is trying to do.
Sure.
We do play these songs, but when I've been putting stuff on other albums, it didn't make sense to cluster it. The Dan Wolf album itself was a little more, I guess, like adult contemporary, or I don't know what alt rock.
Terrible.
Yeah. So then this is really good and as the opposite.
You didn't want to throw people off where they put it in. They're like, what is this? This is amazing.
Yeah.
This isn't Dan Wolf.
So I wanted to show an upward trend, so I waited to release these ones. So no, these ones are like a lot more folkier. And we certainly play them at shows, but I think it clustered better.
Well, and I think the track
here.
that we're gonna play really shows that it's a pretty folk heavy kind of track. A little bit more on the traditional side, but with a modern twist. So once again, we're going to have that. And if you want to listen to it right now, completely go to the end of the show. It's the 1 hour mark. Listen to it, come back and join us. We'll have a sample of that a little later on. If you want to hear it live, go to Willie's Brew and Quinoa
in Southeast DC.
In Southwest Washington, D.C. Saturday, June 15th. Go check him out live. And don't forget, the EP Folkin' Around is going to be available everywhere online on June 11th. So with all of that said, let's move on to the weather report. Now, you've done this before.
Yes.
You know how it works. We're going to put you as editor-in-chief of a brand new publication. You're going to let us know whether or not these different news articles that we've found, whether they make it into your news syndicate. So let's start off, as always, with the lovely and talented and Adam the engineer.
I'm actually going to start this one with a question, because I know in Baltimore it's been shown up. I don't know about DC because I haven't been there in a while. Those electric, like rent by the hour scooters starting to show up all over the place down there.
Bird scooters.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Oh, I read that. I totally got on one.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's not as cool as if you rent two and put one on each foot, but it's but
it's half the price.
Right. Yeah. So that's really useful, but you have to do sideways. It's way better if you just one hand on each handlebar and power through. And I think it goes faster because there's more horsepower, which is good. So I would suggest that.
Well, Keith, what if I were to tell you that someone has come up with a worse idea?
Worse idea? That's a fantastic idea.
Swedish startup to bring pogo sticks to San Francisco as e-scooter alternative.
What?
Yeah, apparently they thought scooters were, I don't know, too mainstream. Or they do not explain why. All we know is that they've chosen to bring pogo sticks to San Francisco because it's a hub of innovation.
Yeah.
And they want people to commute via pogo stick.
I'm just wondering if they've ever talked to a human being. Because I don't know.
I wonder if they've ever been to Baltimore where you'll try to make a right turn and some guy just comes flying off a curb on one of those scooters because you can't control it.
That's
now
lawsuits.
Someone
That's,
just
I think,
come
the bigger
careening
thing.
around on a pogo stick.
Right. Yeah, I think I don't know that there's been any human being in the history of all human beings who've said, I don't want to walk there. I wish I had a pogo stick.
Right. I'd like to hop there.
Yeah. Moon boots. Those
I would like to show up sweaty and exhausted, but even more so than if I had run.
If it was like those moon boot things, or like those like gazelle shoes,
Yeah.
or like that, I'd be like into, because then I'd be like, I could run like super fast.
You would
and
just
that would
rent
be
these
amazing.
shoes. These shoes would just be on the sidewalk.
Sure.
Like the laces are tied together until you pay, and then the laces separate.
Well, no,
And that's how you can't run away with
what
them.
would happen is they would be in some type of distribution like case, and you would jump into them both feet and then just take off.
Wait, so what you're saying is you would like things to be like more organized on corners,
No.
and not just thrown randomly strewn about in these containers.
It's not so much that as much as I
Oh.
would like people to prepare things for me.
I was sure.
I don't care if it's organized for
I don't
anyone
want to
else.
leave it that way, or yeah.
That's a lot of work to put it
Yeah.
back in the box, and I'll leave them on the corner, but then whenever I want to use them, I just jump in and I take off.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a plan. I'll tell you though, it has bothered me that he mentioned the bird scooters, right?
Yeah.
My friend and I actually created an account called Litter Bikes
Okay.
when those bikes first came out.
Yeah.
Because at first it was like the docked bike shares, and then they went to the dockless, which is just like, here, I throw this off a bridge and it's laying on the road now.
Yeah.
You can come use it if you want. If
Right.
you don't mind a one-wheeled bike. So like
You just
he's
have
talking
to-
pogo sticks, but I have this other business idea now. What about a unicycle?
Oh.
How is that not a thing? It's half the price of a full bike.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have seen that in Baltimore. I came out of Peabody
Really?
one day to see a man rolling down the street on a unicycle, buck ass naked.
Well,
Did he have one ball as well? Out of just curiosity.
I couldn't tell, the legs pumping away at the wheels.
That seems
wheel
really.
were in the way, but
Yeah, that
Yeah.
seems uncomfortable.
I'm trying to work out the math here. You don't show this video, right? I'm trying to.
No, this isn't video. No, go ahead. Feel free to lift and
I'm
separate
trying
all
to
you
figure
need.
out like how parts would sit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I.
There'd be a lot of flopping around, I feel like.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
so
What other things could we rent by the hour that people don't need?
Oh,
Yeah.
you know those little red and yellow cars we all
like
puddled around as kids?
Oh, the power
yeah.
wheels?
No, the
It
Fisher
wasn't
Price
Power Wheels,
ones.
it's Fisher Price,
Fisher
yeah.
Price, the Fisher Price, yeah.
Can we just drop those on street corners and rent those by the hour?
You know what? It'd actually probably do pretty well. Big wheels.
Yeah, like the little like the tricycle one with the
Yeah.
front. Yeah.
That actually could take off. Because you would ride a big wheel,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
if you did it. Have you seen the ones where they take the back wheels and cover them with PVC piping so the back wheels like slide, so you can power slide around
No.
places?
Can you not
Right.
already power slide? I feel like those wheels are just barely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, no, because all your power's in the front wheel, right?
Yeah.
So that used to
Yeah.
slip all the time.
okay, that's fair.
But as you went to turn, the back wheels didn't
So now
really
they-
go.
now they slip a lot
So
easier.
now you can like
Yeah.
turn your wheel and keep pedaling, and then your back comes around.
yeah. Man, what will they think of next?
That'd be
And
brilliant.
why were they thinking
Yeah.
of it anyway?
Give that do that, but then put one of those electric like wheel motors on it, and we have a future here. I'm just saying.
I
No.
just within a year, I guarantee you, I'm going to see one of those in Baltimore just power sliding its way through an intersection.
Yeah, absolutely. We've determined that there is global warming, and part of the reason that there's global warming is because CO2 and all this other things, and the reason for that, too many people. So,
Right, and it's because they're expending too much energy pogo sticking around San Francisco.
so what we need to do is just cull the crowd a little bit here, and
Yeah,
just get-
Portland's doing that. I don't know if their experiment has been highly
all right.
successul.
All right, so maybe we don't murder people if you're gonna be like that. All right, so is it news?
I mean, I feel like we had a good discussion on this one. I think that's the kind of thing that should show up in like a transportation section of the newspaper.
All right, nicely done, Adam. 3 men announced plans to start a straight pride parade in Boston.
I
Yep.
did hear about that.
Did you?
I did.
Like, so here's the thing. I want to put aside for a second, because usually the like response I hear is, well, every like parade's a straight pride parade, right? Like,
Sure.
you know, it's like, why don't we have, White History Month, or like all the other months are White History Month? Let's put that aside for a moment. That
Sure.
like, we don't really need straight pride, because at no point in time do people be like, are you straight? And you're like, oh, I shouldn't say anything because I'm not proud of it. You always go like, yes, I am. Right? Like,
Well, I wasn't. One time, some friends and I went to It's bar in like DuPont. I forget what it was called.
Oh yeah, was it like the Hung Jury or something like
It was
that, or
something?
or in DuPont? Which is the ones in DuPont? I don't know. I used to go to Trax down in and that was in DC as well, and it would like have goth industrial nights, but it was like a gay club.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we would go. I was a theater major in college. Weird thing. Had a bunch of gay friends. Don't know how that happened. But they'd be like, we're going to go down to the club. You should come with us. And then Damone, my gay friend, would be my boyfriend for the night.
Sure.
So that when the other guys...
So you know what I'm talking about then.
So the other guys come up and be like, hey, Damone would be like, he's mine.
Yeah.
He's with me.
Because if you were like, I'm straight, was that sort of like a...
I think they figured it out though, because then I would go to the next, I'd be like, yeah, no, like I totally suck his dick. Like I'm way into it. He may be black, but that's how I like it. If once you go back black, you back the hell up onto that black, if you know what I mean. Like that's
I'm not sure, but don't draw me a picture.
That was a single entendre. I just meant it as I don't know where you took that.
No, I wasn't sure how many entendres we were layering.
Yeah, no. So I'd be like, no, I'm just way into him and like his penis.
Do you think you oversold it?
Like, woo, he's got a good penis. Like I at first wasn't sure if I liked penises. Then I met Damone and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm into penises. And that's basically the rest of my life. I'm just going to worship this man's penis. And they're like, so you're straight? And you're like, yeah, I'm straight.
Yeah. Sold it.
How did you tell? Like I said penis a lot, so I felt like I had it. They're like, your socks don't match. Like,
oh yeah, dead giveaway.
Yeah, I didn't do laundry. They're like, we know. But yeah, in general, like we probably don't need a lot of straight pride because in general we're like, yeah, that's fine. We're good with that, right? Like you don't have to hide it so much,
right?
What I want to do is dismiss that for a minute and just talk about. Won't this just be the most boring parade ever?
It'll just be a bunch of dads in khaki shorts and polos.
Like, there's no glitter anywhere. This is shitty. Like,
there's no glitter. There's no sequins. There's no.
Yeah. So what would you?
Confetti.
What would you? Let's say that this actually happened.
Sure. Well, and let's specify because if you're having a straight pride parade, you can't then go to gay people and get costumes.
Right.
Because that would be against everything. So
well,
you'd have to go all straight everything. People who made the floats. People, like, right?
Sure.
Right? Makeup has to be done by straight people. Like, everything has to be straight. And I feel like...
Do you think that would get you in trouble as you went around? And
you wouldn't be popular, I don't think. If you were just like,
you go to like a seamstress and you're like, yes, but only the straight ones can work for me.
Right.
I feel like you're just going to end up...
I mean, I'm sure there's perfectly lovely, like, straight fashionistas.
Oh, no, I'm sure there are. I feel like barging in there and demanding that as a...
I feel like if you lined up all of, like, the name brands of anything that's great fashion-wise, and you were like, could all of the not straight people take a step back? I feel like you're gonna like have a binary decision there.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
You two come with me. We gotta make costumes.
And you're like you with the non-matching socks, not you, just the other guy. Right. You got matching socks. You're in.
But I love dicks. No, you don't. You're not fooling me.
So what? But let's say that you were going. What costume
forward.
Would you want?
We know.
We know.
Why did you step back? I'm just really into it. I like Damone and I just are banging constantly. And no, you're not. Step forward. Come on.
What? So, but what would you wear to a straight pride parade?
Straight pride parade? I would.
Was
assume,
I right with the khakis? Like,
yeah, no, it would probably be polos and then like, sunglasses from gas stations.
I feel personally attacked. Where else do you guys get your sunglasses?
I'm just saying. See, you don't even know. That's how straight you are. You're like, I thought sunglass retailers were just gas stations.
Right.
That's the only.
It's like
place.
Sunoco. I thought that was a.
That's what they make their money on.
The sunglasses.
Yeah. So I think it would just be that, and then just every banner would just be Comic Sans. Like, and then everyone would be watching like, yeah, you're
yeah.
And then everybody has to walk straight too, right? Because
Sure, but not in time. It's not like a march. It's not.
and so any of those like, marching bands that do configurations, they're out because they're
Right.
going all crooked. So
Yeah.
they have to be straight.
Right. No,
But
that
yeah,
makes
so
sense.
that's what they're thinking of doing. And I think here's the thing though. We have these all of the time, right? We just had a straight white male pride parade last year in Washington, D.C. when the Caps won the cup.
Oh, that's not where I thought
I was
you were
wondering
going
where you're
with that.
going with that.
Yeah,
Right?
two of us were looking really worried.
Pretty much anytime a sports team
Oh, sports, right? Got it.
wins
Yeah.
anything, that's your straight pride parade, right?
I mean, yeah, that seems.
I'm not saying that gay folks can't watch football. I'm just saying that more straight white men are probably watching
Well,
football.
Yeah, and I feel like wearing a hockey jersey out in public is definitely like a straight guy thing to do.
Right. And yeah, absolutely a straight thing. I would think.
Because I assume that
I would like more gay fans because I'm a Caps fan. I'm all
Sure.
in because they're going to be amazing fans because they're loud and they'll have capes and like it'll just be like, and I'll be like, yeah, you fucking are a fan, right? Because
right.
every gay friend I have does things like 1,000%, and that's what's so exciting being around them.
Sure,
because
but your straight
all
friends
in.
show up in khakis and in a jersey.
right, and just complain.
Right.
They're at the game and they're like,
Why is it so cold?
They're like, why don't they have the mint flavored Dippin' Dots? All they have is birthday cake.
no, they'll sit in there.
Well, that's me anyway.
Like,
I'm always like, where's the mint one?
just fucking shoot the puck already. I'm like, yeah, no, the professional hockey players don't know how to play the game. I'm sure that they're like going down the ice and they're like, got the puck. I've only been doing this for like most of my life.
And then here's some guy up in the nosebleed, shoot the puck!
Shoot the puck.
He's like,
holy
oh, what?
shit, I should shoot the puck.
This
Thank
guy.
you.
Yeah. I ran track in high school and a little bit in college, and I felt like you'd come around the corner, somebody would be like, run faster. Like, yeah, it's a race. I know.
Yeah.
There's literally one goal here. I got it. I'm
Yeah.
tracking.
Oh. They're like putting his name on the Stanley Cup. Steve from section 437 for reminding us to shoot the fucking puck. You are part of this. Lift the cup up. Go, Steve.
Yep.
There. Lift the cup over your head. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. All right. So that's the entire segment. Is it news?
How many more do I have?
All of them. We've only done 2.
Well, that's the thing. You said this is the
You've
end
only
of the
done 2
segment.
out of-
I don't
Yeah.
want just a one-page of news. I'm gonna say no.
No. All right.
I may live to regret
No,
this.
that's enough. I don't need to hear anymore. We're running out of time.
All right, faster. We're going rapid fire now.
We're gonna, yeah, we probably should.
All right,
way
fire
behind.
away.
All right. Well, I was going to do a long setup for this one, but
No,
I
you
guess-
do your
no,
setup.
do the setup.
Yeah, go for
okay.
it.
So think back to your younger, more, let's call it intimately active days. Think of the
So like Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't think we're the same age.
and I just want you to think back to probably the hottest thing you've ever done in a bedroom. Well, I guarantee you it wasn't hot as this. Elderly couple accidentally burns down house during sex game involving World War II flamethrower.
That is a kink that I have never heard of.
Ah.
I had never heard of that
I
one.
feel like
too.
you should unload it first.
What was? I mean, I clearly understand how it goes wrong. I'm trying to understand how it was supposed to go right. Like, like they've done this for 60 years, whatever. They've been together for like 50 years
since World War II,
and they've been using this flamethrower like every Wednesday for 50 years.
Right.
And what did it do that time?
What was that interview like? Like when the police talked to them and they were like, "Yeah, it usually doesn't do that." And they're
Also, why would they confess to have been having sex? Couldn't they just been like, we don't know. We were downstairs watching Jeopardy.
Right.
This guy was winning.
Right.
And then also our house burned down and we don't know why.
like, why is there a World War II flamethrower? What?
What I just loved is that the 911 operator is talking in this article about how she was just so convinced this was a prank.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it took her suddenly hearing the wife screaming in the background to realize that this was for real, because literally the first thing he told her was, quote, He told me he was penetrating his wife with his M1 as usual, but got too excited and activated the flamethrower.
Wait, stop. He activated this. Wait.
This is wrong on so many levels.
How is she doing?
He kept repeating that everything was burning, and I could hear his wife screaming behind him, but I still couldn't believe that this could be real.
Well, he flamethrowered her. For God's sakes.
Did it talk about her current condition?
Yeah. Is she alive?
They're both fine.
How?
I don't know.
You need more information.
Yeah.
All the article says is that they're both being treated for shock, but other than that, have no injuries, will not face charges, but the article does make a very specific point about how when a house burns down because of use of a weapon, insurance is unlikely to pay out. Quote, a case involving a Gatling gun in 2004 and another involving a rocket launcher in 2011 may have made their way to court, and in both cases, insurance company didn't pay anything.
What if it's burned down by a sex toy?
Why didn't they just say it was a candle?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
if they had to say they were having sex, which doesn't seem totally relevant to like how he should have started.
911 call?
Yeah. Just be like, hey, my house is on fire. But if you have to say sex, be like, it was a Yankee candle, not like flamethrower from World War II.
I don't know why the details were in the 911 call. I feel like you'd be like, house is on fire, send things with water.
Right.
And
that's all you need to do.
Well, do you know what happened? There was a flamethrower involved.
We will
Just
talk
get here.
about it later.
Right. I feel like the details are not important.
Yeah.
Like, well, I was doing this like you do. And no. All right. So is it news?
I'm going to say it is not, because I think you need to come back with more details.
Oh.
I think the story is not fully developed.
All right.
I mean, I totally want it next week when you've got some of the internals worked out.
I get it. Internals. Because he penetrated her.
With an M1.
3 to 6 year prison sentence for man who shot at fireflies that he thought were alien lasers.
I feel like I did this one a year ago.
I was just going to say, I feel like I got this one a year ago.
Yeah. Well,
because we did the 4th of July, and I feel like...
This happened again.
Are you sure? You didn't just go to the archives of the things that Adam has said and you're just trying to reuse them?
2019. That is when this was reported.
What kind of a gun was he shooting at him with?
Now, what might have happened is this might have been, you might have reported on when he did it, and now he's actually gotten his prison sentence.
Oh.
Maybe that's what it is.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
I was about to say, maybe there's something to this whole conspiracy if it's happened twice.
What do they know that we don't know?
Yeah.
Here's the thing that confuses me. As far as I'm concerned, that's not how you fight alien lasers. like, let's set aside the fact that what he thought they were.
I think we were
everything.
focusing on the wrong part of this story.
Right. We're saying like, oh, he must have been really fucked up if he thought they were alien lasers. You're in a field, right?
Sure.
I've never seen a field with like 2 lightning bugs in it.
Right.
So, fireflies come in like groups of 40, and you're seeing these as lasers, and your thought is, let me get my pistol. Right?
Yeah. Obviously, what you would do is you would pull your flamethrower out of your girlfriend and turn it to the sky.
Yeah.
Because
obviously
that's...
Hi, 911. Yeah, there's a fire. Yeah, what went on? So we were having a hanky-panky time. Then some lasers started happening, so I had to shoot them all with my flamethrower.
P.S. My girlfriend's on fire.
Your Honor, can the insurance please pay for this? So is it news?
I feel like I passed on it before, and so I feel like I might have to pass on it again because it seems like a follow-up.
All right, that's fair.
It is so weird that was my episode.
All right, let's knock them out.
All right.
Yeah, we really are in the lightning round now.
All right, here we go.
Man orders Lyft as getaway car after shooting up Indiana mobile home.
I mean, that's what you should do.
Yeah, you don't want to use your own car.
No,
they'll track it back
obviously
to you.
not.
They'll know right away.
They'll know because they'll be your license
right,
plate.
They'll see your, yeah.
Yeah. Did he have a flamethrower? So is it news?
Well, I think it was, because what did I say? The first one was transportation or traffic?
Here's why I would say
I'm
that
really
it's news.
heavy
right?
on this one
Is
already.
he didn't use an Uber.
Right. You can't trust their drivers, man. Have you seen the news?
We need to. We need to talk about this.
All right, let's throw it in there because I feel like the first one I did was transportation.
All
related.
right.
I could be way off though.
Metal thieves steal rail bridge in Russia. An entire bridge. Yes. You heard that right. They stole a bridge.
They just
I assume then they fenced it.
yeah, we don't have time for clarification, I suppose. This is to Google it later.
There's no more clarification. I have told you everything you, need to know.
You can't just go pick it up. How do you drag
Apparently
it?
you can if you're made of metal.
You take it apart and then you steal it.
They took it apart. They had to reassemble. This isn't Lincoln Logs. You can't just put it together in another room.
No, they didn't reassemble it anywhere. It's gone. We don't know where it is. I bet it's in pieces.
Sure.
But there's a place where there was a bridge and now there's no bridge. That's all we know.
All right.
They haven't found the people. They just have found where the bridge used to be.
I give us less than a year before this happens in America.
Yeah, probably. I would assume so.
Well, our infrastructure, they said it'd take 80 years if we fully devoted it. So, all right, sure, why not? It can be news.
Yeah.
All right. Charmin created a toilet paper roll for millennials that lasts up to 3 months.
I'm in.
This is a true story.
Double if it's mint flavored.
I don't think you know how toilet paper works, Keith.
Why do you say that?
Flavor never comes into this.
Well, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but if I use a lifesaver, my farts are really fresh.
Funky fresh.
Yeah, that's what the hole in the middle's for.
Yep, sure. That makes sense. Comes out like a...
Yeah, it whistles at you. Winter fresh.
Yep. And you can tell by the whistle because the cherry ones whistle differently. All right. Sorry. It's just all it is toilet paper that lasts 3 months.
It's a toilet paper roll the size of my chest, marketed towards millennials.
I'm not sure. I don't know how much toilet paper people use. That seems like a lot.
Where do you hang it from? The ceiling? like, it's not going to fit in the normal roll, right?
No.
So, you'd have to put it around the shower
rod. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you're not allowed to shower for 3 months because otherwise you get the wet paper. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's minty fresh.
But it stays minty fresh the whole 3 months.
Is it news?
I'm going to say no. I don't know what this is.
All right, Powerball winner of $344 million jackpot used numbers from the back of fortune cookie.
For real?
Yeah, he won. You know how you get the fortune and the fortune cookie?
I do.
And then you get the numbers on the back and you're like, right? Yeah, he fucking won with that. That's what he used. Nailed it.
Does he do it often? Like, is he a regular person that does this?
It didn't say anything about him doing it often. It also didn't say what was on the other side of that piece of paper because I would like to know if it said, use these numbers.
Yeah. It's just like, seriously, bro, use it.
Yeah.
I'm trapped in a factory, but I know how this works. And yeah.
And don't eat the cookie.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Now I'm going to need a huge roll of toilet paper.
Yeah. Why did you put that in the cookie?
Food poisoning.
I had to eat the cookie to get to it. Jesus.
Yeah, I think that is news. That's pretty incredible.
News. All right. Excellent. We've made it through another rendition of the weather report, but really, really behind time. All right. But fun. I think we had fun, right? Everybody had a good time. So let's move on and find out a little bit more about this track that you have.
Sure.
So it's the title track of a new EP. EP is called
Folking Around.
Nailed it. I'm glad that you know.
Yep.
So it's an EP, 5 tracks. Is that
sure? Yeah.
Going to be up on all the streaming different services and everything on June 11th.
That is correct.
So go up there now and download things and pay for them and give Dan Wolf some of your money so that he'll continue to make music.
Yes, please.
And then you'll be playing this live along with all of your other music Saturday, June 15th at Willie's Brew and Q in Washington, D.C.
Yes, sir.
Is this your first time at that venue? Or?
It is my first time at that venue.
That's exciting.
It's a new venue for us.
All right. So go down and check that out. So tell us a little bit about what is Folkin' Around.
So I think I mentioned earlier, I've released a couple albums in my lifetime and even some band projects and stuff, both past and in the future to be released. But these tracks I didn't think fit stylistically and with a lot of the other maybe adult contemporary or different. We say Americana, but it's still a different vibe.
Acoustic
a lot
rock,
of these,
whatever. Yeah,
I would say 3 of these were very like folk.
Yeah.
And they seem to fit together. And on it, I also added another one that ended up just sounding a lot cooler, being more country.
Okay.
And then I had 4 tracks, and I was like, 4-track, make it 5.
Why not?
Why not? Because we're already there. And
Yeah.
so the 5th track on the album is actually a reggae track.
Nice.
I mean, I say reggae, and then the purists are going to get real mad. So let's call it island rock. It's a
reggae.
duet. But I thought, what kind of a place should I do this other than, like, where would I release this song? And I thought on the album that's called Folkin' Around.
Do you have a lot of tunes that kind of wait in the wings for that right moment to get released?
Yes, I have. And now everything's going to EPs. It used to be you could put more stuff on an album, but now no one wants to talk about an album. If you release an album, you can release one single off that album to Spotify to get in part of their playlist rotation.
Okay.
Only one. So if you think you have more than one good song, don't waste them by putting them both on the same album. Release an EP separate.
So put one good song on the EP and then 4 shitty songs on that same EP.
Yeah, and I learned that right after I submitted 5 really good songs.
Good.
Yeah.
Good save.
Yeah,
that was
you.
good.
So yeah, so I would say so the album is definitely an eclectic mix of different things. But I do think the Folkin' Around that you'll hear later and Every Step of the Way is another track that we play as a full band all the time, have been for years, and it fits in really nicely with this whole amalgamation of kind of unorthodox sound. I feel like now everything's so produced, and this is a very
well, let's take a listen to it.
Sound.
So if you want to listen to the whole track, fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show, and you can. But let's take a little sample of Dan Wolf's Folkin' Around.
Seems like people always ask me what I'm doing with my life. Where's your house, your yard, your white picket fence? Where's your pretty little wife? No, I can't say I have all that. No, I ain't even close. But I spend my whole life doing the very thing that I love most. Just poking around. I like to pick, I like to grin. Just poking around.
That is definitely folksy.
Yeah,
you definitely nailed it.
Definitely
there.
a deviation from the normal.
Yeah, because you were
normal
more
Dan Wolf and
acoustic
the Muddy Crow
rock,
stuff.
more singer-songwriter, more that kind of feel, and more Americana, somewhere in that wheelhouse. And this is definitely has a more traditional feel to it, but a modern take on it a little bit.
I think so. I think it came out nice.
That's great. Yeah. So if you want to hear that and the rest of his EP, go up onto any of those streaming websites, get a subscription or download it and pay for it one by one, which is also awesome. And head up to danwolfmusic.com with 2 F's to go find out where else he's going to be playing and more music that comes out later in the year.
There you go.
Excellent. So let's move on, since we are still behind on time, to Please God, Just Get One Right.
All right.
So we've got a bunch of questions, or we've got a category of questions that was given to you by Jerome Williams. He played June 12th at the Wharf down Wednesday in Washington, D.C. So you can go on the 12th, you can go down and tell him how much you hate him for this category, if you hate him.
Yeah. Wait, is he busking or
No,
one of
he's
those things
doing,
on the stage?
Wednesdays at the Wharf. There's a whole thing. Yeah. So you can go check him out.
Right.
He is great.
Well, I know they have like those busking things. That's why I said that.
I think
I didn't know they were doing an actual thing, which is nice.
Yeah, I think this is an actual concert series. So,
Cool.
Are you ready for your category?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no, but go for it.
Disney.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't seem confident.
Well, I just feel like that's like 110 years of material that I need to recall.
Right. It is broad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went with Disney. So let's get started. Let's see how you do.
Sure.
If it's any track record, I think you got one last time.
Yep.
You got the first one right, and then
I tried to call it, and then you made me answer the rest.
And then you just pitched it. Yeah, you were like, we don't need to.
Yeah, I intentionally got the rest of them wrong. Sure. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep. I didn't want other people to feel bad.
Yeah, through the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Adam.
Let's start with a really simple question. What was Walt Disney's first original animated character?
Boom. First animated character.
I don't know. I'm going to say Steamboat Willie, and I'm going to say that for every answer I don't know.
Looking for Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Now that you say that, I'm aware that that's a thing that happened.
You knew that one. Okay.
I mean,
you didn't know if it was the
if
first
it would have been
one.
multiple choice.
All right. After Walt Disney's death, a piece of paper was found in his office with a single name written on it. What then largely unknown child actor's name was written on that piece of paper?
Macaulay Culkin.
He died, I think, before Macaulay Culkin existed.
Wait, hold on. I just wanted to say that because I thought it was funny. I mean, I actually have no idea, but I'm trying to think. I feel like Shirley Temple was too early.
Yeah, I think she was already more adult at that point, right?
And Judy Garland would have been too.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to get this one. So
nobody knows why he wrote it down.
really, it's
Yeah.
like still a mystery.
Still a mystery. And it blew me away because I had no idea that there was any connection. But apparently he was a child actor working with Disney at the time. And
Yeah, I mean, I'll go with Macaulay Culkin. I know it's.
I like it.
I don't
Kurt
even know.
Russell.
Oh,
Kurt Russell, yeah.
this is on the tip of my tongue.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was a child actor, honestly.
Right. I just thought
But I know the name.
I thought he was born as a full-grown man.
He just came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, probably. Just roadhoused around.
Right.
All right. So, Adam, next one.
Walt Disney is, of course, famous for Mickey Mouse and the empire the mouse helped create. However, Mickey was not his original name.
Oh.
What was Mickey Mouse's original name before Walt's wife convinced him to change it because she didn't like the way it sounded?
I think it's Steamboat Willie. And I think there's like some discrepancy about that, but I'm pretty sure that like, in the first cartoon it was Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie was the name of the cartoon, not the character.
That's what
The
I
original
said.
name was Mortimer Mouse.
Oh.
Mortimer Mouse.
I said the cartoon, but
Yeah.
I didn't answer the right question. I was too excited because I had said it earlier.
Yes. Not the cartoon he was in, but what was Mickey Mouse's
Right.
original name? Mickey, I think, better than Mortimer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not just Morty?
Yeah, that's true. You could have gone Morty Mouse. That
I
would've
mean,
been
that
good.
also sucks, but
Yeah, better than Mortimer, though, right?
by a whole syllable.
If it had been Mortimer Mouse, you would have had like Mortimer, like Mantle, and
Yeah.
all right. Walt Disney's first animation studio specialized in telling modern fairy tales based on Aesop's fables, a trend which continued later in his career. Can you name the first Walt Disney animation studio? It wasn't Disney. The name of the animation studio that had his first animations, which were based off of Aesop's fables.
Was it Mortimer Mouse?
Mortimer Mouse Animation
Studios.
Studios is wrong. No,
Uh,
Laughogram. Laughogram was his first endeavor.
Sure.
into-
Did you guys know that at all? Had you even ever heard of Laughogram? These other ones, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
No.
Laughogram?
Nope.
What is that?
I didn't, but I did this so that it would be very difficult for you.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to get to reach into your sack like I did last time.
No, well, you still got two more to go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just. Yeah.
Nah. All right. Well, let's see.
Let's-
This 1943 propaganda cartoon features Donald Duck being forced to work on a Nazi production line, alternating between constructing artillery shells and saluting Hitler. After a manic day of being worked near to death and being tortured, he awakes to find it was all a nightmare, and the short ends with him embracing a miniature Statue of Liberty and throwing a tomato at Hitler's face. What was the name of this animated short feature?
How's he throwing a tomato at Hitler's face? Does Donald Duck have a poster of Hitler in his bedroom?
No, it's like he shows up or something like that, and Daffy Duck just
I would
hurls a
assume
tomato
over
at it.
Wait, you say Daffy or Donald?
Donald, sorry.
Oh, see, I feel like.
Well, that confused it all.
Yeah.
No wonder he can't get it.
See, I feel like these are the kind of. So one of
I
the
said
ducks.
Donald Duck in the first time.
One of the ducks has a Hitler thing.
And then at the end, he throws a tomato,
tomato.
at Hitler, and ironically, Hitler doesn't duck.
Oh man. I wish I had more time to come up with a clever thing, but
Nobody ever does.
yeah, no.
We've made up time. We're actually in a good
That's
spot
all right.
now.
It's called. Is it?
You're not saying words. Do you know that?
Is it?
You're just making really
Is it
frustrated.
Steamboat Willie?
Is
No,
it
the answer-
Steamboat Willie?
The answer we're looking for is Der Fuhrer's face.
The Fuhrer's face.
Sure it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Last but not least, Walt Disney has won 22 Oscars and was named and nominated for 59 Oscars. In 1958, he won an Oscar for one of his films, and was awarded a very unique custom Oscar statue. So, what film was that for?
A film in 58.
Yeah. What film did he win it for? And I will also give you credit if you can name what the uniqueness about the trophy was.
You said it's an Oscar. What was the Oscar's Best Picture? That's what you said? Or-
It was for one of his pictures. I don't know.
you don't know if
it
it's
was
Best Picture.
Best Picture or not.
Oh, see.
Probably Best Animated would be my
Sure.
guess.
Oh.
So 1958. And they gave him a essentially the statue, the award, I should say, was themed after the film.
So
They
I want
did a fun little quirky thing with it too.
I feel like think about stuff that's that old. I'm gonna say either like Snow White or Cinderella. So I'm going to say I don't know how you would theme something after Cinderella. Like a pumpkin one sounds dumb. So I'm gonna say Snow White, and it has something to do with 7 dwarfs.
Yes!
Was it
That's
really
it!
right?
Yes!
Oh man.
You nailed it!
There was a really long pause, and I was like, "Oh, these guys, they're like this idiot."
No, they gave him
It's
one.
obviously Mighty Ducks 3, and
Yeah, they gave him the normal Oscar award statue that you would get, and then 7 miniature ones along with
Okay.
it. So it was the 7 dwarves.
I did not know
Yeah.
that. I literally was like, "What would I do?" Okay.
Yeah, so
That's-
you got it. You got
all right.
one.
Oh, I get to
You were
put my
so
hand
afraid.
in your sack. Isn't that how that works?
Yeah, absolutely. My
If
fun
you're
sack.
like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. How
what
much
do you-
better?
what
Like
sound?
there are no prizes.
Yeah. We've never given away prizes. What are you talking about? You just want to what? Are you
all this fondling talk?
This is Damone. I totally put my hand in his sack all the time, like way into
all
it.
this fondling talk makes you want to get my flamethrower.
All right, let's see the sack of joy. You get to put your hand in it.
Yeah.
Nothing is wrapped, so you just
Oh.
look, and then you reach into. Oh yeah, do that. Perfect. Oh yeah, just I like it rough.
I can't reach.
There you go. All right, what did you get?
I have a Signor Misterioso
Yeah, you
air
do.
freshener.
What?
That's not those 2 words I expected to
I don't
follow
flavor
that
is it?
statement.
It is the flavor is mint and it lasts up to 3 months. It says.
And you have to hang it on your shower.
I heard Mr. Mysterioso. I thought it was going to be some kind of knockoff action figure
well,
or
I don't-
something. I
is
did not
Senor
expect
Mys-
you to say air freshener.
Well, yeah, but what is Signor Misterioso?
That's the thing.
That's
It's a
the-
mystery.
Well, of course it is.
Yes.
But of course, I didn't know if it was like some like Hispanic character that I didn't know about.
Yeah. No, the smell is a combination of wintergreen and fart.
It's like this the smell that you associate with the whistle. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. No, I got it. We're tying all these things together. Which I
This
think
is good. Yeah, no, this
Yeah.
is excellent.
People are paying attention. If they don't get these jokes, go back to the beginning and start over, and you'll get them on the second listen.
Yeah. Listen to this 3 or 4 times. It's super great for our ratings. All right, so congratulations.
Thank
You've
you.
won. Now we need a category from you for our next guest.
Sure.
What are you going to have? You're undefeated now.
That is actually, yeah. You
just
know what
wanna
I did?
point that out.
What I did last time, I did Care Bears.
Oh, yeah, I do remember Care Bears.
I don't think they did well.
Probably not. Because we also probably just picked the most obscure Care Bears you could
Yeah.
possibly do.
No,
Yeah.
I remember that was the one where the guy actually walked out of the studio after one of our questions.
Whoops.
I'm pretty sure.
I know I listened to it, but I can't really. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Anyway,
go back.
you
You can access them all.
and
the
where can you
wonders-
access them, Keith?
If you go to anotherwastedhour.com, you can go and see all of our past episodes.
Anotherwastedhour.com.
I think actually if you go to listen.anotherwastedhour.com,
But
it
wait,
goes
there's
straight-
more.
Straight to our list of
Listen.
all of the podcasts.
All right.
And join us on Facebook or iTunes and Twitter and crap.
Yes. My category, based on the fact that I heard that Sugar Ray is releasing a new album,
Oh, okay.
which you
Things
kindly,
I don't need.
yeah, he's releasing a new album. I don't know when, and I don't know what it's about,
Okay.
but questions about Sugar Ray, like, is his name really Mr. Ray?
No, it's not a guy. It's a band.
You don't know?
No.
Do you know him?
Sugar Ray Leonard is a boxer.
Sure.
And then I think they just stole his name, and I'm surprised he didn't punch them.
I thought his name was Sugar because of his frosted tips.
All right, so listen next week for 6 questions about Sugar Ray, which I assume our next guest will have no problem answering because everyone knows everything about Sugar Ray. All right, moving on. Let's find out a little bit more about you as an artist and a gentleman. We have a last segment called Near and Far. We got I don't know, about 4 minutes, something like that. So let's say near. We have a story about Before the Hail.
Sure.
What happened?
So last weekend we played at the Herndon Festival.
Awesome.
Myself, Dan Wolf, and the Muddy Crows.
Great festival.
Right. And also, just another little point there, right after us on the slightly larger stage, Vertical Horizon played.
Oh, nicely done.
Yeah.
They're from around this area, Georgetown, right? I think.
I believe, I don't know where specifically, but I think they have connections, and they like Sugar Ray.
Yeah.
It's another band that I really thought was something that I liked back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I actually did not know they were playing there. I don't know how I missed that.
That's pretty cool.
But it was pretty cool. Unfortunately, because of the rain and the hail, I think they were playing to a largely empty parking lot full of umbrellas. But
so they know how the rest of us feel.
Yeah, that's how we feel when we play gigs.
Yeah, okay, that's good. No,
and we try to blame things like the weather or
right. Yeah, just traffic was terrible.
Right, nobody could drive to our show.
Got dark earlier.
Yeah, so
so
we played that show, and that was actually really good. Great sound, great festival. People should go out there. The point of the story was, I think oftentimes, a lot of times after shows you kind of not ignore fans, but it feels like it's kind of a terse thing. Like when you're interacting with them, there's like a lot of people trying to talk to you, and you're like, hey, I got to tear down and whatever.
Yeah.
And so I feel like people, I'm always worried that people leave without feeling that like what they said mattered.
Yeah.
Because it really does as an artist. I don't think, especially like an independent artist, maybe if you're Vertical Horizon, you're Scrooge McDucking in your money. I don't know. But
I feel like most of us would like to spend 10 minutes talking to everyone in the audience.
And hearing what they got out of it and hearing people say like, this was my favorite song and I Googled it while we were talking to you or whatever. Like, while we're listening. I think,
those are great.
I think that's great. This particular guy though came up, he had a couple kids with him, and he mentioned that, he and his kids were listening. They really loved it. And he just commented that since we played all originals, he found it, he specifically commented that he was so glad to see that somebody was still out there making good live original music and still performing and basically kind of grinding it out.
Oh, cool.
And I thought that's like the most romantic way to view what we're doing, kind of grinding it out, being an original band and not just like a bunch of hacks that also got to play a stage before Vertical Horizon.
Yeah.
And his little kid was like, was that rock and roll? Yes.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Well, and that's funny, right? Because when you're a kid, you used to see these bands that were maybe even local bands and stuff, and you'd be like, man, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And then you had no idea that they were like schlubbing it in an old van and it was terrible.
Yes. Yeah. And so I think they thought that we were the coolest people ever. And
I loved what I think you said your bassist or somebody said about Vertical Horizon playing for nobody. What was it that your bandmate said?
Oh, he made a comment about how he's like, that's why, you don't want to be, you don't want just that like shot in the, what's it called? Flash in the pan. You don't want to be a flash in the pan that like is hugely successful, and a few years later you're playing to an empty parking lot.
Right.
I'm like, man, we play to an empty parking lot every weekend. I would love to be a flash in the pan.
Right.
That's an improvement on our current situation.
Right. Exactly. Like at least you can reminisce.
Right. We can talk about, hey, remember when we did that really cool thing 15 years ago, as opposed to like, remember when we used to play this same bar for the same wages 15 years ago?
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how nothing has changed? I like that his goal in life is just to keep the bar low so that he doesn't
right. You never get disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of keeping the bar low, the show is over. We've run out of time. Thank you so much for coming out, Dan.
Thank you for having me, man.
Will you come out again sometime?
Absolutely.
Excellent. So once again, Saturday, June 15th at Willie's Brew and Q in Washington, D.C. Go check them out live. Also, Folkin' Around, the new EP, coming out Tuesday, June 11th. Head up to danwolfmusic.com to find out more about upcoming shows and music releases. Also, please don't forget Like our posts, follow us, retweet us, share the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We cannot do this without you. Don't forget to review us on Facebook, iTunes, and Google Play. If you're an artist, musician, or culture creator in the DC area, we want you on our show. Email us at booking@anotherwastedhour.com. Thanks to engineer Adam, Kevin Nevinger, McNally22, Justin Rogers, Big Metal Records, Big Metal Studios, and Alchemical Records for all their contributions. Most of all, thank our guest, Dan Wolf, and you, our fans, for wasting a perfectly good hour with us. This has been Another Wasted Hour, and if you just realized that, don't blame us. We warned you.
Seems like people always ask me what I'm doing with my life. Where's your house, your yard, your white picket fence? Where's your pretty little wife? No, I can't say I have all that. No, I ain't even close. But I spend my whole life doing the very thing that I love most. Just poking around. I like to pick, I like to grin. Just poking around. Can't tell me that's a sin. If you like to dance, honey, here's your chance. Dusk till dawn, I'll be growing strong. I'm just poking around. I wanna make sure that you heard me, 'cause my words are all I've got. Don't turn them into something dirty, 'cause they might be, but they're not. Just poking around. I like to pick, I like to grin. Just poking around. Can't tell me that's a sin. If you like to dance, honey, here's your chance. Dusk till dawn, I'll be growing strong. I'm just poking around. Just poking around.